YouTube, I'm Aaron. This is Forrest Wang. He doesn't need an introduction. Last year at Honda Musselman, oh god damn it, Musselman Honda Circuit. I always get it wrong backwards. We did a lovely interview about his past, and he can either choose a topic real quickly or I'll make him one. Do you want to choose one or you want me to make it?
You're gonna make me one.
I'm gonna make it.
I didn't want to talk about cars or drifting, but he said I have to because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, he's into mountain biking and fitness now. You'll see him without his shirt on and he's jacked now. It's like hanging out with Matt Field. He's got a kettlebell somewhere swinging around.
I know I'm a little afraid because we're gonna go on tour this year and I'm like, oh man, it's gonna mess up my routine.
Yep. You don't lose stuff that fast.
No, it will be good. It will be good.
All right, so last time we talked about the past, I thought since he's very quiet and he doesn't post a lot socially and stuff, and his fan base might not really know what's going on with him this year, why don't we talk about the future and everything? You took a few years off of Formula D. I assume you somehow got your shit together and maybe changed your operation and you know a ton more stuff now and you're brilliant and you have a whole new plan?
Nope, same old, we're just going out here, gonna try to have a good time. I don't want to say not care about being competitive because everybody wants to be competitive. You want to do well because that's our nature. But at the same time, try to have fun with it, and just drive. You know, that's what we're here for, to drive and have fun, put on a good show for the fans. So that's something that I'm going to put a little more emphasis on, is not taking it too seriously, because that's when things can be not fun. If you take it too seriously and you get upset about results or calls or whatever, then it takes the fun out of it. So try to have a good time with it. I miss the driving, high level driving with good drivers and stuff. So that I'm excited for, to get out there and play with some really good drivers. I drove with Matt Field at Fuel Fest last month, or actually in December, and had an amazing time, because driving with somebody like that is just on, and they're not gonna spin out, they're not gonna do something weird, and it's we had amazing fun time just driving together, and I feel that's how it'll be at FD again, to where it's all these drivers, they're just getting so consistent. Everybody's level has come so high to where it's different than what I'm used to, because I have been doing a lot of these fun events with amateur drivers and stuff, and it's always kind of you're hesitant to get in on them, because you're don't know exactly what they're gonna do if somebody spins out in front of you. I got in a pile up and I was the middle car. Somebody spun out in front of me. It was George K. He was I trust him, super good driver, but he had a suspension failure, and he spun on a dime in a tandem train. I hit him. Nick Gross was behind me, committed. He had nowhere to go. I had nowhere to go. And it was a 3-car pileup, actually in this car. Got a bit of frame damage. We all did. I think George got frame damage. Nick got frame damage. This car got frame damage, to where it was a bad pileup. And I'm kind of weary of the tandem trains, just because stuff like that can happen in tandem trains, 2 cars, you're usually pretty good, because you can read what the car's doing in front. And if you do hit, it's going to be a lot slower and less of a major impact. When I hit George, the impact wasn't as bad, but when Nick hit me, I felt man, I got steamrolled, just because he had so much momentum and he was so committed to that tandem train that he couldn't see George spinning out in front of me because all the smoke everywhere. He comes through a wall of smoke and there's a car parked, and you're uh-oh, just got creamed. Literally the suspension was just disconnected. Yeah. But yeah, we're getting off topic from where you wanted to go.
Topic. I just let you talk.
Cool.
All right. So you're going to do basically the exact same thing, but take it less seriously.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Formula D cars are actually getting more advanced? Because you're probably going to bring the exact same car back.
Right. Exactly. I am a little worried about how serious the cars are now and how fast everyone is. Everyone's really gripped up, really hooked up, and
are they actually any faster, though?
It's hard to say, because I haven't been around it. I haven't been to an event. I haven't seen it in person. From what it seems like, everyone's fast. And everyone's all the tire, I feel companies are getting bigger, and, everyone's on 295s and up, to where it's a lot of tire, a lot of rubber, a lot of grip. And honestly, I like driving a car that's not as gripped up. It's funner, you can style out, you can really let the car float out to zones and stuff. And nowadays it's it's a gripped up game, to where it's a little different than what I'm used to. But yeah, we'll try to find a medium of where I can still be competitive, but still be able to, throw my style in there as usual. That's kind of how I've always tried to play it. So we'll see how it works.
You used to qualify at the very top a lot of the time.
Yeah,
because
usually
of
good
that.
qualifying because of like my car control and being able to place the car in all the right points, which in a less gripped up car is easier. Everyone understands that. But when it comes time to tandem, if you can't keep up, you can't do well. To where like that's where it's going to be tough, is trying to like keep up with everyone that's like really gripped up. So we'll see how it goes, you know.
This is kind of telling. The way you say stuff, you're not worried about being too competitive. You haven't gone to a Formula D event in person in quite some time.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like you're a big fan of actually like really watching all that stuff.
I watch the live stream, so I
you
watch
do?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I
You're just not there
I
in
don't watch
person.
it live stream. I like do a delayed.
Condensed
That way I can like fast forward. Okay, battle. Fast forward. Oh wait, no, I don't want to watch this battle. Fast forward. Like see the action and not have to like go through the whole 4 hours of actually watching it. But I do like to see the drivers and see what's going on, and you know, it's cool seeing like how some of these new drivers are really stepping up. You know, there's some definite like talent out there that, you know, guys like Travis Reeder and Rome, like these guys are, you know, getting their first podiums last year. It was awesome to see. Like I really like that about drifting too, that yeah, you got like the Osbos and those guys that like, you know, you're used to seeing win events, but it's cool to see like some of the smaller guys get out there and like take some of that spotlight away, which is that's you know, part of drifting. You know, it could be anyone's game. You could have the underdog come up swinging and like take out a champion. So that's definitely like a cool part of.
I feel like drifting sometimes is like so random. I was just at the LZ Invitational, and like Chelsea got knocked out, and like people were like, oh, Chelsea's gonna win, or Luke Fink, or like all these different people, and like they just get randomly knocked out by people.
Right.
Drifting is so random sometimes like that, and then just
Right.
like an underdog wins, and you're like, what did that guy do? And he got like maybe gifted a few battles, and then did really well a couple battles, and just like ends up at the end somehow, and he's like, I'm surprised to be
Right,
here.
right. Yeah, that's what is cool about drifting. Because I mean, you figure any other type of racing, you know, like real racing,
Yeah.
like money and R&D and like experience kind of like take you to the top. Like it's hard to, like, you're not going to go out of F1 and be like the underdog and like win. Like it's pretty much the same guys, like usually doing well, the same teams usually doing well, as to where, you know, you're not going to see the last place team come up and win. But in FD, it's anything's possible. Drifting, like you said, it's just so random like that, which, you know, makes it interesting.
So I was watching him and driving with him a long time ago, and he had an SR, and he had like a full race 3071 setup, and he advanced the SR through time, and then he went to the 2JZ setup, and like it seems like drifting is now almost at a stagnant point. You're not willing to go V8 or do something else different. Seems like you're a JZ guy, you like him for specific reasons. There's not anything necessarily you can do technology-wise or like go to a different engine platform or anything. Like your car is now going to be very static from 8 years ago to the next 5 years maybe. Like what is there that you could do to your engine package, your drivetrain package? It seems like it's kind of set now,
Well, I
isn't it?
really need nitrous. So I've never run nitrous, and it seems like a lot of the JZ guys have nitrous to help light the turbo, to spool it up, because the car's very lazy, makes it hard to drive, which also makes it very hard to drive it in a very gripped up state, because if you fall out of power in a very gripped up state, it's going to snap straighten on you, and either trying to correct it or even coming out of drift, you're like, you lost already at that point. So if you have some bottom end that you can kind of fall back on, you can feather back, let the car regrip a little, not run as much angle, and be faster with less angle. But it's always kind of, I err on the side of more angle, more wheel speed, because it is, for me, it's like my style, but then it's also a safer feeling than being like in a gripped up, like full throttle committed area where you're like, okay, if I grip up right now, we're gonna crash, you know, and that's the fine line of like being fast and making it work, and then being fast and like getting yourself in trouble. So running a little bit more wheel speed gives you that like angle to kind of like fall back onto, where if I start falling out of power in angle, I'm still just gonna rotate into a little bit less angle, which is still safe compared to like if you're like gripped up running a very shallow angle on a wall and you start to grip up and you're already giving it everything it has. It's like I said, a fine line between making it into the wall. Where I feel like that's where it's gone nowadays. Everybody's on this razor edge of like having so much grip that they're like fighting the car full throttle, barely making the line. It's really quick, but then it's also like I said, a more fine line of being on the edge of danger and like
Yeah.
wrecking your car.
So nitrous is going to be the one engine difference, you think?
I think that would help out a lot, and getting out of the hole. Like I honestly like have a hard time like getting off the line quickly because the car is lazy. I mean, it doesn't make boost until like $5,000, you know, but it revs out high. So that once I get in power band, got a lot of power, but below $5,000, it's a dog. As to where like, you know, these V8 cars, they're making really good power right off the like idle practically, to where it's a lot easier to drive. I mean, I'd love to drive a V8. I know already that like it's sick to drive. They just don't sound as cool. Like, I mean, they sound cool, chop, like loud noises, but I mean, honestly, Jay-Z turbo noises just sound sick. Like,
So you could be more competitive, you think, in a V8?
I wouldn't say like more competitive, but you could be just as competitive, a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like less work.
So you're saying the V8 is a better engine?
I wouldn't say, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say better engine, but better suited for what we're doing.
Yeah.
The response,
It just
the
doesn't
torque.
sound like you want it to.
It just doesn't sound like I want it to. If it could sound the same, that'd be awesome. It's just, I'm not against V8s. I think they're, you know.
You had stickers with like...
Oh, that was just a joke, man. I didn't even come up with that. That was all Garrett.
Oh, have you ever
Garrett's
driven a
thing.
V8 car?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so
I love it. I
you
drove
do have
Monadell's
experience with
car
it.
when he was on our team. I love it. It's awesome. Like I said, it's easier to drive. That's why so many people have it.
But you wouldn't do it for FD?
I would do it if like somebody was to be like, here, drive this car, and this is what it is. I'd be like, great, awesome, let's do it. It's just for me and my program, this is what I've always had, and this is what.
So it's not like a religious thing?
No,
You would
I'm
do
like
it.
so invested already in like these Jay-Z's. How am I gonna switch right now? It's like I got so many engines and all this stuff that suits Jay-Z's. Like if I had, you know, somebody be like, here, run this V8, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. You know,
Really?
if they wanted to run that like engine package in my car, I'd be all about it. you
What if
know?
someone did the exact same thing, but they wanted you to run an SR?
Ooh, I think that's like taking a step in the wrong direction. I think that'd be even worse than a Jay-Z.
You think so?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nah.
No, couldn't do
Yeah.
that. Like for these kind of events, I'd love it. Like SRs, I mean, they're sweet sounding. I mean, turbo noises, like we can't go wrong. Like I love turbos, wastegates, spooling, surging. Like it, that's, you know, it just sounds awesome.
So what I'm hearing is the car is going to stay basically same from 5 years ago in FD. He's going to add nitrous, and then he's just going to relax and not get so stressed out.
Try to, yeah.
Do you get like really stressed out and want to throw up in grid or anything like that, and like get anxiety and panic
Sometimes,
attacks?
like really, like honestly, it's like qualifying and top 32 are the only times where like you feel nervous, because it's like, okay, qualifying, if you suck and you don't make it, you're out of the show, and then first round, if you suck and lose, you're like out of the show. Where once you make 16, they do the top 16 introductions. You got a little for that event to show, and then you feel okay, and like anything after that's like great. But like I said, to go out in qualifying or to go out in top 32, it's like not really a good weekend, you know. At least if you can make it to 16, get in the show, get some good battles going on, like you feel okay about that. So
Does it get easier over time with the, I don't know what you call it, the stress levels and stuff? Or does it get worse because you're more entrenched in Formula D and like racing and it's more your life, so you feel like you can lose more, if that makes sense? Because I hear some of the guys like say, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like I know multiple guys on big teams have like sports therapists at the event to keep them calm.
Wow.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I never really get like too nervous. I try not to put like too much thought into it. Like I know what I need to do. And that's what I tell myself. I'm like, okay, you can do this. Like, this is what you do. You know how to do this. So then just relax and just do what you're going to do. And sometimes you do get nerves and like a little bit of butterflies before the run. But literally, like, as soon as you like get in the car, you're strapped in, you do your little like figure eight, like tire warm ups. And then you're on the line. You're like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I know what to do. Like, you know, you got experience. You know how to do it. And then kind of all goes away. As soon as you like full throttle these cars, you're like, that adrenaline starts pumping and you're like, hell yeah, like I know what I got to do.
Okay. So we kind of have an idea of what his car is going to do, what he's going to do. He's going to relax. Car's going to stay basically the same with nitrous. Are you going to try and become like a YouTuber, have some type of media package and like point a camera at you and run around the pits?
That's what everybody
Selfie
says.
stick?
Everybody says I need to do, and I'm just not that person, you know. I'm just like, I kind of live in the moment. I like take it in. I'm like, wow, okay, this is life and this is what we're doing. Like, I'm not really good at like acting that out.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like I see it and I understand that that's what everybody wants, but it's really like, I don't know how to say it, but you're putting on an act, you know, it's a show that you gotta like be.
Yep.
To where I mean, I'd like to. I mean, it would be great if I could do that, but I'm just
Not gonna do it.
I'll try. I mean, I got friends and team members that are saying that they're gonna help, and we'll see. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I need to work on it. It's
I
something
was
that
gonna say
need
a
to
lot
work
of the
on.
guys too, like they'll put a bunch of money into it and make some really nice stuff, and it falls flat, and then it's almost cringeworthy. You know what I mean? And then like
Right, you
worse
don't
than
wanna,
if you
like,
didn't
try
do
too
the
hard.
dang thing. Yeah, I was gonna say it's a hard fine line, and like you
Yeah.
got to do media for so long. And if you'd been doing media since back in the day, like because you had some really iconic pieces. Remember there was like a Willow Springs video that was really cool that you did that a lot of people watched that got huge views.
I forget, man. I miss Willow. That track is freaking.
Yeah.
Horse Thief is like one of my all-time
Oh,
favorites.
we're heading there in a few days.
Oh.
Come on over.
Oh, I wish.
You wish you can literally do it. You have the car, you have the
No,
trailer.
I'm like in the middle of like trying to prep my FD car, and it's like, it's a lot of work, and I got a lot of stuff to do and not a lot of help to do it. So working out of my garage at home and, you know, trying to make things happen. And it's just, like I said, a lot of stuff to do in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'd love to go play with you guys at Horse Thief for sure, but just not really
Man, FD sounds
productive
so
for
stressful
me right now. It is.
Especially getting
really
ready for the
is.
season.
So like this is the first year we've ever like gone through like registration, and now they got this whole list of like all these pictures that you got to upload onto the site of like your seat mounting, your column, your pedals, your like you need everything, all your safety gear, all your certs, like gloves, shoes, helmet, Hans. Like they want every picture, all, you know, it's like you're almost doing a pre-tech before you even get to tech. They want to like make sure you have everything.
Interesting.
And like if you don't have one picture, it won't submit. Like you literally have to have every category filled. I've never done this before in FD. I'm like, oh wow, this makes things even more stressful than they already were. Like there's a whole list of like 15 different, you know, agreements that you got to sign and like check off, and pictures of your tow rig, and like I said, all the pictures of your car.
You ever given pictures of your tow rig?
Yeah, everything.
Oh,
like
wow.
I'm like, wow, this is like way more work than what I was signing up for. You know, I'm like, do I even want to do this?
Crazy. What else is going on with FD, like the back end that we don't know about? Anything else crazy like that?
Tires is like a thing, man. It's a hot commodity right now, man. It's
what does
slim
that mean?
pickings. Like, just I feel like there's not enough tire manufacturers to support 30 or 40 drivers. You know, you got Nitto, who's like only got, you know, the Osbo Rockstar program and then the RTR team, and you're pretty much not really going to get on Nittos. And then GT has like 20 drivers, and they're just like, we got drivers, you know.
Do they just all buy them then, or do they give them all out?
I don't know for sure. I mean, I think most pro are getting them for free or, you know, paid. But they're just not really, I feel like, looking for more drivers, because there's just, they got so many already. That's like, they're already at capacity. Like, how are you going to handle that many like drivers? That's a lot of budget to have, like, I don't know what the number is, but like 15, 20 drivers on the same tire, you know, with Falcon pulling out and like a couple of big name drivers looking for tires, like, you know, Odie and Matt
Oh yeah,
Field.
that's right. You're in like competition with everybody. Who are you on? Are you on Federal still?
I don't know when you're going to like drop this, but I'm going to be with Kenda. So they just released that they're coming into FD. They haven't released their driver list yet, so don't really release this until they release their driver's list,
When
which
is
is going to
that?
be soon.
Okay.
It's going to be soon, but yeah, don't.
Have you tested them?
No. So I'm signed with an untested tire that I don't even.
We can tell you about it. We tested them.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a worry.
You
but
really didn't test them at all?
No.
And signed?
No. Yeah. Well, like I said, there wasn't a lot of options.
Damn.
Like, what do you got? There's Federal. There's.
This is the perfect question now. So this is one of those questions I ask like Chelsea and a lot of these drivers all the time. What's the most competitive tire, and do you want to win, or do you want some support and money and all these other things? You know what I mean? You obviously chose the support and money and stuff, and you're going to make it work, and you're super experienced, and you've driven on everything. You can make everything work.
Well, yeah, we'll make
But
it
it's
work
super-
one way or another. But
I was going to say it's
it's
difficult.
important to have a good tire under you.
Yeah, because like you see around the world, like one tire will dominate. Like you remember the Achilles 123S's
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
amazing. I love that tire.
But I was gonna say, if you're not on those, you're getting murdered by like, you know, whoever's on them. What's
Right.
the dominant tire right now you're competing against?
I mean, Nittos are probably the best.
You think so?
Yeah, and then GT.
I was gonna say, because like, this is stressful now for me just thinking about it. You're gonna have to, but you're also saying you're not gonna go in super stressed. You don't have to worry about winning.
I mean, we're bringing what we're bringing, and that is what it is.
is what it
we're gonna
is.
try to have fun, and you know, if you're one of those super gripped up drivers, and I'm throwing a lot of angle, like you're gonna have your own challenge of trying to not, you know, mess up behind me.
Yeah.
Which it is what it is. Like if I got a tire that's only gonna give me so much, then it is what it is. Like I can't make the car do something that, you know.
When do you get to test them? When do you get them? Your allotment. Please don't tell me at the event.
No, hopefully not. So they're bringing over a container, which it's supposed to be in the middle of March.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna like air ship some in to test on, but
Okay.
not a lot, like a handful.
Okay.
So at least I'll see them, and like the main thing is like getting them on the car to like even test clearance. I've never run a tire that tall before. Like everything I've run
Is it a 295 40?
It's a 40, which
Okay.
I'm not really stoked on the 40. Like these cars aren't like well suited for that tall of a sidewall. They just, I feel like it's gonna make it look funny, which to me is upsetting because obviously like I care about like the style aspect of like the car
Yeah.
stance wise, like looking good, and it's gonna, you know, bring the car up quite a bit being a 40 series. But you know, we'll try to work with it. It could help, you know, get
Super Doof version 4, like another 2 inches of the
right,
bottom.
right. We need some bigger arrow to like bring the car back
And
down.
it's angled to the back so it gets deeper as you go back.
Right, yeah, it's gonna be all like, you know, funny car style with the big back tires, and the front tires are gonna be like the same as they are now, to where it's like, then you just, you know, the back end is gonna look all drag raced out, which is not really a look that I'm fond of, but you know, like it could help. It could be some grip, but you know, I mean, you're saying I'm gonna be surprised or leaving the surprise for me, so we'll see how it goes, but
You're gonna make it work regardless.
well,
You
yeah,
would
we'll
do
just go
anything.
out there, have fun, you know.
I know how much tires mean to someone and the competitive whole thing, and about how tough it is right now, and to go with something completely untested.
It's scary. It's a bit of a worry.
Remember when we drove in, Chelsea and I were on Nexon at Chicago, D1, remember that event?
Yeah.
And Chelsea
Oh,
and
I was on Nexon too.
Were you? It was
Oh,
terrifying. You remember how
terrible.
bad it was?
Oh my
So I was gonna
gosh.
say, it goes back to that. We were all driving in this D1 series, and we were so excited to be there, and we got a tire sponsor, because I was on Dunlop before.
Dunlop,
What
yeah,
were you? Were you Dunlop
Dunlop,
too?
yeah.
Yeah, we were on Dunlop. We loved
were
them.
great.
It was so much fun. They didn't last very long.
DZ 101s.
I remember putting on the Nexons. I'd never touched them until we went on track in
Oh
Chicago,
my
and I thought I
gosh.
was gonna die.
No grip.
We literally had to go buy front tires
So hard.
because I almost just like
I never
straight
put a
fly.
Nexon on the front of my car when I was sponsored by them.
Well, we couldn't because you
they
would
were
die.
They were bad. Yeah, they were really hard. It's crazy. Like
And now they're like,
now they're good.
now they're murder
Yeah,
competitive.
they're good. They're really good. Hopefully, we do well. You know, but if not, you know, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
go out there, have fun. I mean, I'm excited for Long Beach. One of
Well, I was
my
gonna say
favorite tracks.
this is the question though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Long Beach is like equalizer track, you know? You're
Yeah.
not really gonna do too much with a super grippy tire because nothing really gets grip at Long Beach. Everything's kind of loose, so it's always fun to go play at Long Beach.
And how much other testing are you going to do on the car? The car's already settled, basically.
No, need
Lots of testing?
Need lots of, well, not really testing, just love, because basically we're gonna do a new engine, same that it has now, just refresh, fresh, you know, to where make sure that we're coming with a, you know, new equipment ready to take on a season.
Is it a 3 liter or 3.4?
3 liter,
3
yeah.
liter. And who's building it?
Just Racing?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Chris Finch.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so new engine, probably a new diff, new gearbox, try to get like some fresh equipment under there.
But the
just to-
same type of stuff you had before, just
same
refreshed.
Kind of, yeah,
Okay.
just newer, to help the reliability.
Same
just
suspension,
preventative.
basically the same
Yeah,
car then, with
exactly.
nitrous.
Wise fab, yellow speed, coilovers. So yeah,
Okay,
basically
very
the
cool.
same car that we ran in 19, just just new,
Yeah.
fresh. Which yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Are there any other big surprises I don't know about, like the Kenda deal?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Nothing huge.
New color.
New color. What's it
Yeah.
going to be? Oh, surprise?
Similar.
Similar, okay.
but yeah.
You're not going to do the fade thing like everybody's doing, or
No.
it's just going to be green.
Yeah.
It's not going to be raw.
Team member, no, all colored. Team member's like, oh, like started drawing up a rendering, and it was like black. I'm like, I don't want to run a black car. Like, I love black cars for street cars, and like, they look cool. Like, I love black cars, but
Needs
like
color for
on
race
the
car.
track, you need color, because when you're like up against the wall, or like even just on the tarmac, like, you want that contrast. Like, a black car blends in. It doesn't give, like, it's not a emphasis on like the where the car's at, as to where you put a bright car out there and you see every, you know, aspect, every point of the car, and it's just that much more impact when you're like getting close to a wall or close to another car. You really see it like popping, like standing out. So that's important. I feel like, you know, have something that looks good on the track.
Are you going to do big, like, lipped wheels and stuff? Or
Yeah, always, always. That's
Well, for a while you weren't. You were on
the STRs.
Yeah.
It's just,
budgeting.
but yeah, like
Yeah,
you said,
budget.
budget.
I understand.
If something, like even this year, like if somebody wanted to give me a bunch of money to run their like single piece wheels, I'd do it. But you know, we haven't.
Did you hit up like 3-piece wheel?
We did.
USA
We
or
almost
whoever?
had like a signature wheel that we were going to work with 3-piece this year, and then they like pulled out last minute. They just said they didn't have the budget to do it, or maybe, you know, going back and forth on the styling was too much for them, because they wanted it to be a certain way and I wanted it to be a certain way, and we were kind of like clashing on how we wanted it to be. So they were maybe just like not interested in like the style that I wanted. I wanted just like clean, simple 6-spoke, and they wanted to do like recessed pockets around the center of the wheel and do just different like a style of like to show off their machining capabilities, which I understand. And I wanted something that was just like simple and clean, or maybe they just didn't want to produce that.
Okay. Well, I know he needs to work on his car in a second, so I'm just going to kind of finish off with one more question. How is everything going, and how happy are you with it? Everything is kind of like a pick your choice, like you said, the tire thing or this or that. Everything is, you know, like the wheels. Is the whole program going pretty well? Are you pretty happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, like, it could be worse, right? Like, we're out here playing with high horsepower drift cars, you know? We're getting free tires to go burn. Like, can't complain. So, like I said, I'm just going to try to have a good attitude about it and, like, go out and have fun. You know?
All right. And is it a living doing that yet? Or are you still having to do a whole nother business and work a whole nother job to support the racing? You know what I mean?
Like, you can scrape by on it, let's just say. I mean, it ain't like lucrative. You're not making a bunch of money, but you can make a little bit of money. I mean, enough.
But it does pay for itself?
Yeah.
That's rad.
I wouldn't do it if it didn't pay for itself. Like,
That's good.
It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be worth it.
Well, I mean, it's not sustainable. You'd have to quit at some point.
Exactly.
Especially because you have a child now.
Yeah,
Muscles
I'm not
that
trying
need
to blow
protein.
money on drifting.
Yeah.
It's fun and all, but no, I can't spend money on drifting anymore. Like,
You really don't spend any money on drifting?
I don't think so.
That's amazing. I still blow so much of my money on drifting. It's so bad.
I've been lucky, but I have put in work. Like, you know,
no,
I've
you
been
definitely
around, paid dues, like, lived on couches, ate.
And you're promoting people. They're using you as a platform, so you might as well get paid so that you can continue. Otherwise, you can't continue.
Right.
I think
right.
that's
It's
what
not
people don't
sustainable.
understand.
Like you said,
yeah.
you can't always just be blowing money on drifting,
Yeah.
because, like you said, you got families and you got mortgages and you got stuff that's more important than drifting. Like,
Oh, I do have one quick question. You keep doing the exact same car. Ever since I've known you, you were S13 at the very beginning, but basically S14, S14, S15 at some point. I can't remember, but basically the exact same.
yeah, they're all the same.
I asked Nakamura a very specific question about if you could do anything, like you could have a Liberty Walk Lambo out there on grid. What kind of car would you want to build if you could build anything?
I don't know. That's a tough question. Like, I would definitely not mind having a different car. This is just, it's kind of like with the JZs. Like, I'm so invested in the JZs already. That's what I got and no. It's like, this is what I got and no. Like, on my budget, I can't afford to switch to a V8. I can't afford
not
to
about budget.
switch.
What
no,
would
no,
you
I'm
want?
just saying.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I like the new Supras. I think they're sick. Like, at first I kind of like questioned the styling of them, but now they've like really grown on me, and I think that they look pretty awesome. I love how like the hood, when it opens, it's like the fender, you know, and like that part, like when you open the hood, the tire looks like it's like right at the top of the chassis right there. It looks, I don't know, I just feel like the new Supras look pretty sweet. So that, you know, with a sick 2J setup would be pretty cool.
So you would do that?
Probably.
All right, interesting. What do you think Nakamura said?
Well, I know because you already told me, which kind of like was surprising.
Was it surprising?
Yeah, I mean, you want to.
Yours is pretty much the same though, just like a slightly different chassis, a Supra, just because you think it's like, you like the detailing on cars and all the cool parts.
No, I
and
like,
that has
the
some cool
styling
stuff,
and
but
stuff.
then you're like, I still want a JZ.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, so funny.
Just for style, because like, I love the style of it. Like
No,
to
it's
me,
the best
drifting's
sounding
it's a show. Like we come here to put on a show. So you want your car to look good, you want it to sound good, and you want your drifting styles to look good on the track as well, and that's important.
Do you realize the reason he likes V8s is because he thinks they sound better and it gets the crowd more excited?
That's crazy.
But I kind of think it's because it's such a novel sound in Japan.
Right,
the crowd's
right.
Not used
It's
to
rare. This is all they're used to is JZs. It floods, everybody's tracks just because it's like that's what they have. It's either SRs or JZs. Everybody's got that to where then you hear a V8 and they're like not used to hearing it. So like it's different. So he's like, hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you so much for your time. He has to fix his car. How often does it break? Often or no?
No, not often. This
No?
is the first time I've ever had like an issue with a quick change, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even from abuse. It was just like a bolt decided to like vibrate back and like get stuck in the gear to where
Yeah.
it sucks. But
Most of my breakages is really weird stuff like that too. Just some weird thing falls apart and you're like, well, that never happened. I don't really need to know about it because it's never going to happen again. You're like, whatever.
yeah, Aaron's lucky enough to let me shred on that beast that I help him put together. So that thing's
that
like
thing's awesome.
600 horsepower 1J, 32 pounds of boost.
By the way, we were watching that car out on track and we're like, what's up with that car? We're like, there's something weird going on. And I was like, it looks like it's Forrest driving it. And it was. Like I could tell just by your driving and
Right.
stuff. Even just the throttle work.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's a good car, so I'm pretty stoked. I mean, this car may be down for the day, but we'll go play with the red car and get some laps in.
These are fucking classic cars now, and you're gonna have to learn how to build something else soon.
I know,
Otherwise,
I
you
know.
won't have customers.
Right? They're
Yeah.
like becoming the 8.6,
Yeah.
like the Hachirokus.
God.
Not the new 8.6. The
I was
old
never a
8.6.
Hachi
No,
guy.
neither were I. But they're like you said, it's a commodity. They're hard to come by. The drift tax is real. You try to find a clean S chassis, good luck. People want.
It's just
an arm
over
and a
now,
leg
though, I
for
think,
it.
too.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that has them, I still have, you know the Nakamura car? Did I tell you that's the same car that I always drove?
That's crazy. I can't even believe that car was still alive after all you put
I
it
know.
through.
The V8 is still alive, too.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. But yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of cars like that that just will live forever.
Yeah,
Like, this
yeah.
car will probably never go away.
this car's-
That
yeah.
car will never go away.
Right.
So, like, a lot of us will just continue having those cars forever.
Yeah, that was a previous Arizona Drifters car. The guy
Yeah.
from 2F. He
Yeah.
had a V8 in that previously. Now it's been brought back with the JZ.
I can't even remember. I'm not looking at it. Is this a S15 or 14?
14.
It's a 14.
This
with
used
all
to
the
be
parts.
black street car before it was FD car.
Oh, really? The
Yeah.
SR car?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
So it's crazy to like think like there's like it's like a pattern, you got your track car and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna build this fun demo car, street car, whatever, and then it like slowly escalates into like a full-blown track or FD car. It's funny, I was just like talking with Dylan Hughes because he's got like he had that E36 and it was his street car, and then now it's turned into a full-blown demo car, and it's just you can't help it.
I don't know what it is. For me, it's oftentimes like the path of least resistance because you don't want to keep everything nice or this or that. You're like, oh, I'll just do this part, and like it's a slow downward spiral of like making
It
the car
is a
easier to work on.
downward spiral.
Well, 'cause,
That's
like-
what I tell people. They're like, should
Yeah.
I gut it? I'm like, no.
No.
Don't gut it. Leave it. It's great with full interior. You're not really helping anything by taking out the interior. It's like 50 pounds. Leave it in there.
I would have a problem if like a turbo would blow and you're like, well, I'm not buying that turbo again. I'll buy the new cool one.
Yeah.
Even I have a Chaser I'm about to do that on. And you're like, oh, I might as well just buy a G30
Oh
or
yeah, I
something.
mean,
and
if
then
it's got twins, those go in the trash.
yeah, and then
Like,
by the time you're there, you're like, well, I might as well get new injectors, standalone, this and that. And then by the time you're that,
it's
you're
a
like,
slippery slope.
you're like, well, it makes 500 wheel now.
Now I might as well track it
Yeah,
and like
time to
cage
kill
it
it.
and it's
All right.
downward spiral.
Thank you so much. Good luck this season. Thank you for sharing all this stuff. I wish you the best on all that stuff. It's super exciting to see you back on track.
Yeah,
a lot
should
of
be
people,
fun.
I would say 3/4 of the FD field, like no one pays attention to, but you're someone that everyone always pays attention to. So that's super cool to have you back and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
and
pumped to get out there.
I was gonna say you bring a fan base to drifting just like Adam or Chelsea or all these people do. So it's good to have your fan base like
Yeah.
reinvested back into it.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people, they get to be anti-competitive drifting and they don't
Yeah,
support it or watch
right,
it and
right.
everything. And when you leave, your people don't go watch it. You know what I mean? So it's good to have you back.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Drift Week 7 is brought to you by Just Racing. They have a very fancy machine shop and build very fancy racing engines. Thank you to BC Racing Custom Coilovers for always supporting everything Lone Star Drift and Drift Week does. What Monsters Do, who also has a new logo over on the right. Thank you so much. Go over to their website, buy some merch. Discount code EBISU. Thank you to Vapetasia for supporting drifting for quite some time, including Forrest Wang and all kinds of other cool stuff. NK Wheels, Volino Tires, and Heatwave Visual. Thank you very much. Thank you, audience. Bye.